Good afternoon. Today is September 30th. If everyone would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Hey. Any minutes, Helen?
No,
Reports?
yeah, we got our office budget report.
Okay. Special such, get your signature on that. Thank you. Okay, correspondence,
I have none.
none, commissioners,
I have the mail sitting on my desk. I kind of flipped through it and didn't see anything too consequential, but
okay.
Did anybody ever do that survey for MDT? They keep.
I haven't. I gotta find it.
Like, yeah,
It's probably about. right now.
One from NBC.
MDT,
Or
NBC.
yeah. Condition of their roads and just everybody's perception of how they're doing essentially
Oh,
on their roads and their handicap access
seen
and
the one.
everything.
I seen the Mako one, but I don't remember NBT one.
No, me either. Okay. All right, calendar review, Helen, please.
Have a meeting with the planner after this meeting. Tomorrow. Is Wednesday. And there is the BRD working group,
Mhm.
viewed at 2.
13 or 1 PM.
Thursday, BTAC at 8. Survey review at 1:30. Whitehall transportation at 1:30. Commissioner Kirsch's Friday.
Elkhorn Working Group on Thursday at 2.
And Jefferson River Watershed Council at 4 in Whitehall on Thursday.
And there's a road and shop safety meeting at 7 on Thursday. Our
Okay.
calendar's pretty complete, huh?
Which
Yeah,
we,
it is.
which is why we don't have meetings on Thursdays. Commissioner Kirsch's Friday. Nothing on Monday.
Yep. You good, commissioners?
Yep.
Okay. Moving right along. Okay, commission reports, Commissioner Doolittle.
Let's see, I attended the Mako conference Tuesday and Wednesday. There was a lot going on, so I kind of picked and choose what I wanted to do and what I thought would benefit the county, because I don't sit on any committees, although I think that's gonna change significantly. There was a lot of good information put out. I think it was helpful, the ones I went to anyway. I did find out that our health department is not alone in their money woes or their staffing woes. That's pretty much statewide. Other than that, I had a safety meeting, county safety meeting on Thursday morning. Everything's going really well there. They are updating the bloodborne pathogen plan, and everybody needs to get rid of their old plans. They have, they made a list of where the first aid kits are and the contents, and they're gonna go through those. Their Narcan was expanded for another year on the expiration, so don't throw those away if you have any.
Was state fund there? The
I
state
think-
fund usually, trying to think who the guy is.
I think that they were all given to us, but they were, the directive came out that they're not expiring, at least
Oh,
for another.
talking at your meeting, did you have a representative from state fund? at your
Yeah,
meeting?
state fund was there in person.
Okay, and sites
Um,
was too,
Yep,
what's that?
Jamie.
Jamie,
was-
yeah, she was there as well. Okay, good.
yep.
Yeah,
They said we're doing really well.
yeah, I talked to Jamie at Mako and she said
Yeah.
our safety committee is doing better than it's ever have, so.
Yep.
That's great.
I told them we didn't win one of the 2 awards that was passed out, but we were close and we'll give it a shot next year. Friday, I went and drove a road that we're having some issues with between Warm Springs and McCollum Creek. And I also drove up and checked the new chip seal on Corbin Road. It looks good. There's some bumps in it that I think they've already told us about. Other than that, it's not dusty anymore.
Did it look like they had Durapatched any of that? Could you
Not
tell
that
if
I
there was
could
any
tell,
patching?
no. There's no patching that I'm aware of yet. I don't think it's happened. That's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kirsch.
All right, going back 2 weeks on the 17th of this month on Wednesday, there was a deed review discussion with Karen Alley out at the fairgrounds, which was coincided with the drug bust next door here.
I forgot about that. I
I
did
got
talk
out,
to her about that though at Mako.
okay. Yeah, I got to the discussion late, but what I did hear was really good. Thanks Ginger for putting that on. I think Karen should bounce around every county and do that for everybody, because it's good information, and it's always changing with legislative laws, so. Thursday was a JLDC dinner down in Whitehall. I mean, they had a pretty darn good turnout. I bet you there was 30 or 40 people there. The Cardwell Store RV Park got the Business of the Year, and that they're calling it the Stu Goodner Memorial Business of the Year. I don't know how long they'll do that, but just to give him some memorialization. They rolled out and drafted their marketing strategy, and they also gave us a glimpse into their new website. And I think their new website's supposed to be up and running by the first part of October anyway. But it was a good little dinner, and they did a good job putting it on down there in Whitehall at the community center. And Mako, actually, I enjoyed this session. Sometimes they're long and drawn out and a lot of information that's not pertinent to anything we're doing, but this one was pretty focused and had a lot of good information that was pertinent, I think, to most counties. And Coalition of Wildlife Counties talked a lot about the grizzly bear delisting. That seems to be a dragged on, kick the can down the road long process. They keep changing the goalpost to when they can delist the grizzly bear. There seems to be more than enough bears out there to meet their goals in the original Endangered Species Act that they enlisted on those, but it's an act of Congress to get those guys delisted. So hopefully we can get that done fairly soon so the bears don't take over. Public Lands Committee, a lot of discussion about the current administration's push for more forest production, which is fine and dandy, but the infrastructure to process all that timber and harvest is no longer available. We've only got, I think we have 7, did they say 7 sawmills in the state now, and we used to have 40 some. So that infrastructure is probably gonna have to come back as they start getting more production going. So going to be kind of a transition there. Brendan Beatty, Director of Revenue, came in and talked about centrally assessed valuations. And I still don't understand it. It's very complex and convoluted, and holy cow, the tax structure. And
Yeah,
one thing they said though is if the centrally assessed valuation goes down, we lose whatever that is. But when it goes back up, we actually gain 100% of it because it's considered newly taxable. And I guess that'll change too when the new law comes in. We only get 75% or 50% of newly taxable, something like that. So that was kind of interesting, but the up and down of that centrally assessed valuations actually is a benefit to us, because Jason said, don't let that out anywhere, because it's kind of a loophole that we use when the valuations go back up. We can use it as new construction or whatever, and get our money from it. State Fund gave an update, kind of the same thing. It's really nice to see Jefferson County in that whatever section of doing very well. I mean, that's great. I think they said the rebates will be coming out. I think David Sight said he'd be here. Did he tell you? Probably October.
I don't remember the date,
November?
but
It was November, I think.
I think it was November. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but
He'll be dropping by with our state fund rebate, so a little bit of money in the bank.
pardon?
Did he have a number?
I don't think he gave us a number, no.
No, I didn't. Tell us what that might be. Congressman Troy Downing stopped in for a little bit in person. Usually we get the congressional and
Video.
senatorial reports via a video, but Congressman Downing must have been in town and he stopped and gave us a little spiel. That was kind of nice. Senator Lou Jones sat down with Jason Riddle for a while to talk about funding and property tax and sales tax and a lot of stuff over my head about taxation and how it all works. And Senator Jones kind of alluded to the sales tax, but like where the state's not quite ready yet, probably this next session they'll talk about it, but nothing's gonna get done probably for another 6 years was his opinion. We had a session about conservation easements, which was really interesting. Conservation easements, if you have a chunk of land, a big chunk of land that you want to put into a conservation easement, you can get paid for, you can donate it, but it essentially keeps it from being developed for perpetuity. And I think the perpetuity part is what everybody struggles with when they're looking at that. Some people do, some people don't, but I did learn something that the conservation easement is not set in stone. If there becomes some certain circumstances that make that thing where it isn't what it was intended to be when it started, they can actually go to court and get the conservation easement lifted off that property. He gave a good example. He said if you had 100 acres in, let's say, Manhattan or something right now, and there's houses all the way around that 100 acres, obviously it's not a good conservation easement anymore because there's a big field of whatever there and it could be used for something else, and that might be a good one to go to the court and get that one lifted. So that was a good discussion. Learned some stuff on that. Mako elected a new second vice president. And we thought we had 2 runnings, but the third person actually that wasn't really in the conversation, he ended up winning it. Scott Miller from Carbon County. And he's an Army veteran or was he Army? One of the services, he's a veteran.
He's an Army veteran. I think he retired as a sergeant major, he said. Rancher.
Really well spoken, lots of energy, nice guy. Yeah. Okay, then, last night we had the women's, correctional facility public meeting with the community here, and we had about, what do we say, 70-some people there?
I counted 80, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we'll
People
go
were
through,
The numbers
way
late.
late.
yeah, we'll go through the sign-in and figure it out, but great turnout and lots of good, concerns and lots of good conversation. I can't remember, was it an hour and a half?
About that hour.
Yeah, I tried to keep it at an hour, but there was no way. It was just questions kind of lingering on. One question would lead to another question to another question. So, but really good. Everybody did really good. The public was, obviously they're against it, but there's some concerns that can probably be figured out or whatever, but we will put together an RFI to let the state know what we have, and then also public sentiment. That was part of the RFI, so we'll have that information to send along to the state in the information package. So this morning we talked to the sanitarian. He seems to be doing very well. He said the staffing over at the health department is helping him immensely. That's Molly, kind of doing the admin stuff, taking a lot off his plate. He's right now kind of balancing his office with the contract office, trying to make that more efficient, where he's pushing more off on the contract office, but at the same time, making sure they're efficient in getting more than one project to come up here to look at. So I think he said he had 3 septics all at once that those people came up and did them all at the same time instead of coming different days of the week. So he seems to be doing really good that way. Yeah, we're gonna try to update his what do you call them? Rates, yeah, his fees for service. I'll get with you to see if you can pull up the resolution for the sanitarian and what their rates are, so we can try to figure the numbers out there and get an updated resolution going for him. Events coordinator, talked to Bruce for a little bit, mostly about his longevity. As far as budgetary, we're running out of the mental mines money, and he's pretty much paid from that. A few of our other offices are paid from that too. We're trying to slow that down. We're slowly running out of money, but we just wanted to make him very aware that could affect him in years coming, so he can prepare for that, whether finding other funds somewhere else or shifting revenue and expenses from other departments to cover that payroll, so. And lastly, this morning, JLDC Cottage 5 update. We went over where Leah is in her grant process. It looks like she's got everything all set up to put in for the big grant in May, or she's putting in for it now, but we'll find out in May whether we get it or not. That'll kind of give us a direction to go after that. If we don't get it, we may swivel or maybe make new plans to do something else with the money we have set aside for the health department to get them some more space. I think Leah can still work on Cottage 5 as we, even if we do get a new facility or do something else with the money we have, we can still work on Cottage 5 and try to get it, whether we can get it up to spec to actually move in something there or just get it mitigated so it's ready to go for something down the road, so. And I think that brings us up to right now, Mr.
Ask you one on Commissioner, because I wasn't there, but on the Hard Rock Mining, did anything transpire in that meeting?
There was this report, it's like, I have the minutes on my desk, I guess. Really, nothing new, nothing really to mention.
I went to that one too, and they finally had a quorum for the first time in
Yeah, that
several
was
years.
Kidding me, really?
So that was a plus, but there was some good discussion, but it was mostly about just reports from what everybody's seeing.
3 counties still?
I think we had 5 counties.
We got 5 counties this time. Watch usually 3.
Beaverhead showed up, they they're getting a new mine, I guess, it's gonna be Hard Rock, so they wanna join the coalition.
Okay.
So, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, but I think there was really nothing new from last year, compared to last year, that was brought up in the report, so.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, like Commissioner Fritz said, going 2 weeks back on the 16th of this month, Jefferson County DUI Task Force, MHP, reported that from June to present that there were the following: MIP to 16 misdemeanor DUIs, 6 felony DUIs, and JCSO reported in August there were 3 DUIs, 1 MIP, and to present there was 1 DUI. And excuse me, Barb Reeder stated that the funding that she receives for training from Butte Silverbow County Health Department will no longer be funded, and she'll have to look for another source of financial income to continue her programs. Thursday, the LEPC was canceled due to Doug being elsewhere on fires. Library board meeting on Thursday, the meeting was held in Boulder. August 2025, the board agreed to continue funding from the mill levies received, as they've always done in the past due to the legislature changing things. And then the board also mentioned that in the next meeting agenda items in November and December, they need to evaluate new goals and work on the holiday schedules. Monday, the 22nd, I wasn't able to attend due to our Mako conference, which leads into the Mako conference, which was Monday through Wednesday, the 23rd through the 25th. The Montana Association of Counties, the conference was held in Great Falls. The Land Use Planning and Development Committee introduced and explained the subdivision review, of which landowners and subdivisions must meet all the requirements necessary to build, and if not, then it can be put on hold until those needs are met in a timely fashion. And the Justice and Public Safety Committee had in consideration a topic on mental health and where can an incarcerated person get the help needed when the jail facilities don't have the resources to accommodate. And then just add to it with what we said last night, the Women's Department of Corrections meeting. For those that spoke as a proponent, there were a total of 3 in favor, and as for against, there were 11. And then as for the audience, it's more than that, like Commissioner Kirsch said. And then sanitarian, you've already covered that. Cottage 5, you've already covered that. And then I received from the road department, what's going on is for the 30th, which is today, constituent issues was a request for grading. Montana City update, the tree trimming and pothole patching. And the Boulder update was the grading of Lower Valley routes complete, and then currently working on the Boulder River Road. Whitehall update with the grading was in Cedar Hills, Sheep Camp, Edwards Addition, Spackman, they're all complete. And then they're working in west to east. Other items, Montana City position has been posted until filled. Montana City water is down, expected to be back in service by the end of the week. Forest Service request for us to grade and clean ditches on Warm Springs from Middle Fork to top of historically maintained section. Inform them they'll get done as soon as they can in a timely fashion. Speed signs relocated to Lump Gulch above Sheep Mountain and McCollin Creek above Shop Entrance. And then pretty much that's it. That's all I have.
One thing I forgot to mention, Mr. Chairman, is, Marilyn Craft's funeral
Oh, yeah.
is, I think Saturday, 10 o'clock, Ginger.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank you.
Sounds like they're gonna do a service and then, go to the grave and then come back for a potluck. Does that sound
At
right,
the-
Ginger? Probably
Yep.
At the Catholic Community Center.
Catholic Community Center here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out very much.
Use
So.
some money.
So, that's all I have. Thanks for pointing that out. I really appreciate that. Okay, now, anybody here is opportunity for public comment. For any of those that, if anything that's not on the agenda, has the opportunity now to say what they wish. Please identify yourself prior to whatever you have to say. Is there any public comment?
Do you want me to publicly say what I thought about last night? That was crazy.
I guess not.
I thought it was very interesting, because I really thought it was more information about what we needed to offer as far as infrastructure, and it kind of got. I felt like it wasn't getting any information anymore, it's just kind of gotten to, I was surprised too, but you know,
Yeah, no,
it was a very interesting to listen to all the feedback. There was a couple things I heard I never heard before.
no, it was exactly what we needed for the RFI is public sentiment on a prison. I mean, without giving them a specific project, it's hard. All we can say is there's a women's prison that may come to Boulder. What do you think? That's
Yeah.
where we were at last night. And of course, you know, everybody, a prison, whether it's women's, whatever, is gonna be
So-
pretty hard to sell.
I don't know. So whenever that prison went in there that's currently sitting there, was there same type of, is this been done before, those public comment like that? Because it seems to me like we have a prison already in Boulder before this whole new thing, we do. So was there this kind of open discussion like that? I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what happened maybe 40 years ago. When was that thing put in?
The Riverside,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
that was in,
It was a long time
late-
ago. But it was I think it was was it a girls' prison kind of?
it was
I
a
think
juvenile girls
um,
detention center.
I think they took one of the old MDC campus buildings and remodeled it into that. And then it's morphed through the years from that to, I don't know what else between the geriatric and now the women's prison, so.
just curious, the histories.
I think the state's trying to be cautious. They wanna try to let communities know what they're doing, especially on a pretty good project like this. Instead of just doing it, you know, cause they get a lot of pushback when they just try to force it on people. So they're trying to soft sell it first, I think, and then they make up their mind what they wanna do. And they're giving everybody, every county in the state opportunity to put in for it. So I think it's kind of a weird process, but in my mind, we got the information we needed last night.
Oh, yeah,
for-
absolutely.
For
And
what
that was really all the information we had was,
Yeah, because there was no meat, but there was a lot of comments, which was interesting to watch.
I unfortunately missed the meeting yesterday too, so I don't know how much answers I would have got from that, but was there discussion about how many jobs were lost when the legislature took NBC away? And like how many jobs this would bring in? And I don't live here anymore, but I know growing up that there was a lot of jobs at NBC. And now the state's leaving us with these crappy buildings that we have to figure out, took the jobs away. And I feel like this is something that we should take from the state, but I don't live here, so.
I think that was part of one of the person's arguments there is that if we put a state facility out here, we're at their mercy, kind of like with MDC. We don't know if they're gonna stay here, if they're gonna change it to a men's prison, or, you know, once it's out here, we have no control. We really don't have any control right now, but at least we have a
Well,
say
it's their
right now.
land, they could do whatever they want.
Right, so it was kind of like, why would we want another state facility out here when we just went through MDC? And they did what they want, no matter how much we fought for it, which I understand, you know, when you have a state facility, you're at their mercy. And not just the governor and DOC, it's the 150 person legislative session that happens every 2 years. They can do whatever they want with it, so.
But they did say 75 to 100 jobs. I did hear that,
Yeah,
and, which I thought was good, and then there was some comments about housing, how do we house those folks? Well, you know, half of them could probably live in Helena or here or whatever, So I mean, there was some really good comments that way. I don't know, I think it would be a good boost for the economy, but on the other hand, I do see the other side of it as well. I mean, that's why I didn't wanna say.
Yeah, we gotta kind of stay neutral. We gotta kind of figure out what the community wants and, yeah. And
I don't live here either, so
Right.
that's the deal, I don't live right here. But I
It's-
thought it was very interesting, the dynamics. A lot of people. Between 35 and 50 seem to be not wanting it. And then there was the other end, like over 70 did not want it, but there was folks in the room that were in their 60s. And younger that did want it, so the dynamics, the age differences were quite interesting. Mr. Bueller said he talked to many of his high school students and they all wanted, all his 18-year-olds. So it was very, the number, the age groups were very interesting. And I think the 30 to 45-year-olds have young children. So they're thinking about their children. So it was very interesting
Mhm.
to listen.
Yeah, I think whatever happens going forward, we're gonna work on the RFI and get them the information that they requested, what we have out here, and public sentiment will be a lot of that. And they're gonna look at everybody in the state and figure out what's best for them. Like, the question was asked last night, what if this county doesn't even put in an RFI? What if we just can it? And they said that, you know, that's really doesn't matter. If it's best out here, we're probably gonna, wherever the numbers work out, they didn't really say if it's best out here, but wherever the numbers work out, wherever it's best suited for the state's use, that's probably where it's gonna go.
And they have enough money to create infrastructure if they need to.
So,
That's my synopsis of that, but that's pretty much what I thought Director Putin said, is they have enough money to do whatever fixes need to be done if they were to choose whatever spot they choose.
and the director did a great job. I'll try to get the video posted up there. It's not up there yet, but so you can watch that if you've got an hour and a half that you're really bored. But the director, it was really nice that the director was there because he could answer specific questions and he was really good about, you know, the hearsay and the stuff that people were getting off the internet and whatever. So, but yeah, it was a good meeting.
How many other counties have land that the Department of Corrections owns already?
I don't know if there's any.
I don't,
Well, Butte has like 10 or 12 acres, I think, not big. And I think Miles City has some that I know of, because both those treasurers have talked about that.
Warm Springs and Galen got any extra land?
I don't know. I don't know, but
What about that old Air Force base?
Mhm.
Like Glendale?
Yeah. Is that where it is?
Yeah, way up in
Pretty
Norman's
much.
land.
Moved out. The whole town.
Well, you're right on time, Mr. Chairman, 2:00.
Oh, we're hitting it. I'm just waiting for that countdown.
I think Terry's our only public here unless Ladana got something. As a public.
how would you pass these melodies so I can get finished?
That's the group policy.
Get that finished too.
So yeah, anytime you want to open the public hearing on this one.
Let's go ahead and
Mr.
do it.
Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're gonna go ahead and open this public hearing in regards to resolution 21-2025. It's a resolution of intent to adopt the updated Jefferson County growth policy, referred to as the growth policy update. So with that being said, Ladana, do you want to open this up for us, please?
Well, we've been working on the growth policy for quite a long time. It's been through the planning board. We've had open houses and public hearings. We came to the commission and we had a public hearing on August 12th. That was our last one that we've had. We've received no comments as far as I know since then. And we need to do the resolution of intention to adopt it. So that's the point where we're at right now.
Okay, thank you. That being said, in regards to, and I'll read this, Resolution number 21-2025, resolution of intent to adopt the updated Jefferson County growth policy, referred to as growth policy update. Whereas the Jefferson County growth policy serves as the official policy document used by Jefferson County to guide current and future social, economic, environmental, and physical policy related to growth and development in the county. And whereas Jefferson County is required to have a growth policy under Montana state law. And whereas Montana Code Annotated 76-1-601 authorizes the Jefferson County Commissioners to adopt or revise a growth policy or any of its parts. And whereas on May 14th, 2025, Jefferson County Planning Board held a public hearing. And at the conclusion of the hearing, I'm gonna wait until we vote, so.
No, that was the planning board.
Oh, excuse me, it is, thank you. Planning Board held a public hearing. At the conclusion of the hearing, voted unanimously to recommend to Jefferson County Commission to adopt the updated growth policy. And whereas on August 12th, 2025, the Jefferson County Commission conducted a public hearing on the draft updated growth policy recommended for adoption by the Jefferson County Planning Board. And whereas following the public hearing, the Jefferson County Commission voted to proceed with a resolution of intent to adopt the updated growth policy. Accordingly, it is resolved at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, October 21st. Tuesday, October 21st. Oh, that's right, 2025 in the conference room, Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder's Office in that Boulder, Montana. Jefferson County Commission shall hold a public hearing on adoption of updated growth policy. Is that date right?
Yep.
Okay,
This is the intent, and next week, we're gonna actually follow through with the resolution, I think.
oh,
No,
okay,
This is just
October
like
21st.
next
is that what
month.
it says?
Oh, the 21st.
yeah, that's fine, man.
Next
Okay,
month.
so we got a few weeks. So this is just telling the people we intend to
Take action
act
then.
on that other
Okay.
And then we have to
resolution.
put out notice.
Further resolved, notice of the resolution of intent to adopt the updated Jefferson County growth policy shall be published in the Boulder Monitor and Whitehall Ledger on October 8th and the 15th of 2025. Okay,
And you can ask for any more comment, then you can close the public hearing.
yeah, is there any other, thank you, is there any other comment? No, otherwise let's go ahead and close this public
I
hearing.
will say.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Has the date on here is the 30th day of September 2024.
I think I fixed it on the.
Did you fix it on yours?
Is that this one? You're
Make
talking
sure
about?
it's right on there, Dan. Turn to that second page.
September,
on the
Oh.
signature block.
Yeah.
Or,
September 30th day of September 2025 is what it
Okay.
says on here. yeah.
Okay.
okay. Any other comment? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and close that discussion in terms of public comment. Okay, now let's see.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we go ahead and approve resolution 21-2025 resolution intent to adopt the updated Jefferson County growth policy.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have a second.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So be it. Motion carried. Okay. Okay, that takes care of that one. Wow. Okay, okay. I guess I gotta read all this.
No.
Good, thank you. Otherwise, I was gonna take it, and take turns, okay? Just kidding. Okay, this is resolution 19-2025 amended. It's a fixed tax levies for Jefferson County, the fiscal year 2025-2026. I'm just gonna read the first part and the rest, it lists anything and everything if anyone wants to see it. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Jefferson County, Montana has compiled and reviewed the proposed budgets for fiscal year 2025-2026 as required by law. And whereas the value of a mill is determined at $38,885 countywide and a value of $36,128.38 outside the city limits, with other values as stated and certified by the Department of Revenue of the state of Montana. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Jefferson County, Montana adopted resolution 2025, which adopted the budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the board does hereby fix the following levies to fund said budgets. Okay, I believe that's all I have to read, so I would entertain a motion.
I would make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we adopt resolution 19-2025 amended fixed tax levies.
Second that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion?
What,
No.
what was amended on this one, do you know?
We added the schools, the statewide schools, the 95, and then also the individual schools. We just got those last week finally approved from OPI, and then, a couple changes with just, fixing some of the other levies, like the weed levy and, general and
City fire?
Jefferson City Fire, just, fixing those to actually match their budgets, like with the general one, the FM radio, I forgot to put that total in there, and the weed had some voted mills. Jefferson City did some adjustments to theirs, so just to match their budget.
Whitehall mosquito doesn't need any more money. Emergency disaster.
No, the mosquito one, they have a stockpile right now. They'll probably levy their pilot submits bills like once every 3 years.
Right.
So they have their money and then you get all these bills and we pay them and then we levy again.
Okay. And we don't do anything for emergency disaster.
Not unless we have emergency.
Oh, okay, that's what that one's for. It's not Doug's position then, okay. Good, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Nope.
Okay, if not, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Do we need to initial this one? Or
Yeah,
just
sign
sign
the
it
back, yeah.
or give it to them?
So then, tomorrow I'll be submitting it all to the state. They'll probably review it in March or something. And, let us know if anything's wrong with it. It will be audited in February, so. there's no- We'll probably have figured it out by then.
And I'm hoping to submit that to Department of Revenue tomorrow so that they get back our tax and stuff like,
Sort of print tax statements, huh?
Hopefully don't take the big votes, but
Am I going too fast? Honestly, if you need to catch up, I'll wait a minute.
No, I'm just
Okay.
filling stuff in.
I'm ready for the next one when you're ready. What's that?
you do talk about.
45, nope, no,
He's a
no,
auctioneer.
no. Okay, if I'm going too fast, let me know, will you? I'm still trying to learn that one, okay?
No,
Easy, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, I'd like to know though. Wife used to say it. Okay, resolution 20-2025, which is a resolution establishing the method of levying voted mills per House Bill 231 and Senate Bill 542, passed in the 2025 Montana Legislature. Excuse me, whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Jefferson County, Montana has determined that voter approved mill levies are required to be recalculated under two new bills passed by the 2025 legislature. And whereas the new legislation requires that voter mills use one of two methods to recalculate the mill levy. Method one starts with the fiscal year 2025 assessed tax revenue for the voted levy and applies the formula Montana Code annotated 15-10-420 for fiscal year 2026 and all future years of the levy. Method two uses the fiscal year 2025 assessed tax revenue and calculates the number of mills required to levy that amount of revenue using the fiscal year 2026 taxable value. This number of mills is the maximum number of mills to be levied for fiscal year 2026 and all future years. And whereas Jefferson County has the following voter approved mill levies. Okay, it's got basically it's got the fund of 100 FM radio, fund 2382 search and rescue. Fund 2140 is the weed, fund 2220 is the library, fund 2221 is the North Jefferson County Library. Fund 2270 is a health fund, fund 2420 is the basin improvements. Fund 7720 is a Jefferson Valley Fire, fund 7242 is a Montana City Fire. Now therefore be it resolved, all voter approved mill levies will be recalculated using method 1. This being the formula in Montana Code annotated 15-40-420 for fiscal year 2026 and all further years of the levy dated this 30th day of September 2025. Excuse me. Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 2025, resolution establishing the method of levying voted mills per House Bill 231 and Senate Bill 542. Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Hold on, I just wanted to ask Ginger the.
Oh, I was gonna
process.
ask.
Oh,
So the reason for this is because they passed, those bills related to voted mill levies. We have other ones like Bull Mountain and, the Elk Park, they have a set dollar amount that was voted on. The other ones that we have were a mill number. And I don't think that what they did was what they intended to do. So when it talks about the two methods, the first method basically takes those voted mills and you calculate the number of mills that can be levied using the inflation factor that we use for all of the other county budgets. So this year's 2.11%. So we take the number of mills that they had voted on, say it was 5, and how much revenue that would bring in, add the inflation factor, and that's what they're allowed to levy. And if they don't levy that full amount, then they have carry forward mills. So it ended up helping those voted mills actually expand this year because of the values going down. The other method would have taken the number of mills, the number of voted mills, and how much revenue that would have brought based on last year's value, calculating how much it would be. They still probably would have gone up because values went down, but they would be stuck. Let's say if it was 5, they got 7 this year, they'd be stuck at 7 mills forever, regardless of what the values did. So, the resolution lists all the ones that we have. I also got resolutions from those, some of those districts, like the fire districts and, library, to just say that they, will be calculating their voted mills using 15, 10, 420. So that's the gist.
That's a way of the legislature keeping them from like getting a huge amount of money when the mill's value goes up. Is that what their purpose was with this?
Yes, that's my understanding, is that actually 2 special districts, I think fire district and something else in Billings, I guess, were the target of this legislation. They were stockpiling money because they had these voted mills, and so they were levying the max every time and just stockpiling it. So I think that was their target, but again, I don't think that this did what they wanted it to do, because it actually allows that number of mills to grow by adding the inflation factor. So
It'll be a fix next session.
yes, it'll be back.
anything you want to say, Terry?
There's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna come back to the table in 2027, including these 2 House bills, I believe. So, I mean, it's 2 years and then we'll be doing this all over again. But Ginger has a great explanation there. I thank you for that.
I think the libraries and anybody else with the voted mill, those departments were really concerned about this. Once I went through it 10 million times and finally understood it, there is not a huge impact to us right now. I mean, what we've done in the past is gone through the 15, 10, 420 for them, and then just said, oh, well, they have some voted mills, use some or all of their voted mills to get them to where they need to be. And it's really no different for us than how business.
You gotta go to all these entities and figure that out with each of them, and then they gave you a resolution, giving you authority for us to do this? Okay.
They're, all of the boards that I sat on went through this process and actually voted through their board what they
Okay.
chose to do.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went from Montana City Fire, Jefferson Valley Fire. Basin, actually, I'm gonna get theirs tomorrow, their meeting is tomorrow, and then both library districts.
And 7242 is always maxed out in those, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Next year,
Which one is 7242?
fire, no,
Montana City Fire. Yeah, they do,
they've always maxed.
but. Yeah, really no change to how we've always done it, so. They just actually can mill more now if needed.
I appreciate you looking into it much, because
A lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
Any other discussion? Otherwise, we have a motion on the table. We'll take the vote, call it to a vote, so all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried. Yeah, anything else for the good of this meeting? Now we'll be adjourned.